Um, um, some difficulties today, but I'm here. Just wanted to say hello to everybody. Um, so today I want to talk about sexual harassment, sexual sort of all. And I wanted to play a video. I was doing some research about how, because I'm always trying to house children or how children live through how things were open up or how it has been bullied when they turn out themselves, not all, but some, and how it transfer over into the workplace. So today I was there was a opportunity sort of wanted to share because it was very interesting. It is just showing how good good in the workplace. This happened to be on the military. So I'm going to play this and share it with you, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to have a discussion about it. And it's stating that some content may not make it disturbing to some viewers, so if you feel like it's something you can watch, you can watch it. Please don't let your children watch it. If you watch it.
I felt pretty much like a piece of meat in a butcher shop. I was the new kid on the island. I was the new lay. I was the new main squeeze.
In the middle of the night, I went over for a change of guard, and the man who was there grabbed my hand, and I realized that he had his penis out of his pants and was trying to put my hand on his penis.
I only remember having one drink, and the next morning I had woke up and my cell phone that had pictures of these people basically having sex with my body while I wasn't awake.
So this video is not playing as I wanted it to earlier, so I'm just going to stop and we're just going to have a conversation. Because it's not playing. I'm not going to play it. So wait, so I'm going to try to stop.
I had a career set out. I wanted to see the world, and I wanted to support our country.
I served on active duty in the Army from 2000 to 2005, including a year-long combat deployment to Iraq as part of the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault.
After high school, I decided that I was going to join the Navy. My family was super supportive of that. I wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. I had gotten into college. It wasn't like that was my only option. You know, I was the captain of my cheerleading team. I was very girly, but wanted to just travel. I wanted to, you know, protect the country. You know, I just wanted to say I did that.
The misogyny and the hazing started pretty much when I graduated boot camp. But honestly, looking back from my 51-year-old self, I felt pretty much like a piece of meat in a butcher shop. I was the new kid on the island. I was the new lay. I was the new main squeeze. My supervisor asked me to meet him at the club. I wanted to grab a quick bowl of soup, and he said, you know, hey, I want to talk to you about your performance. Why don't you come outside where it's not quite so loud? Once my supervisor got me outside, he pushed me into the bushes where nobody could see me, and he raped me. And it was probably the most horrific thing I've ever experienced. After the rape, I reported it to the chaplain trying to get help. I talked to a couple of people at the barracks. When I talked to the chaplain, he basically told me, you need to keep your mouth shut and you need to move on and forget about this. Little did I know, the chaplain was good friends with the person who raped me, and he had a private conversation with that person rather than making the right reports. And a couple days later, I was walking out of my barracks to go into my evening work, and I was raped again by the same man. And he told me I should learn to keep my, mouth shut. Felt like I strongly just needed to end it. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't help myself. So I attempted to overdose. And then I was shipped off the island immediately, and I was sent to Bethesda, Maryland, to the hospital. Before I went to Bethesda, I was actually put into the brig for a few days for attempted destruction of government property. Yes, I was government property. I filed with the VA and I said I was raped. And at first the VA said, no, you're not. You were never raped. It's all in your mind. And I said, no, I was raped. And in 2003, I actually was able to get partial benefits from the VA.
No prosecution was ever made against my perpetrator. In hindsight, it was easier for the military to get rid of me than to admit to the rape.
A couple months into deployment, they let us have liberty. We ended up going to a bar. At the time, I didn't know what to expect. We're in another country, so that's where we went. Everybody ordered drinks, and I just remember, like, my mom always used to tell me, because I was only 19 at the time, never to accept drinks from anybody because you never know what someone can put in it. And at that time, I just wasn't even thinking about that. All through boot camp and everything, you're told, this is your family. These people have your back, you have their back. I only remember having one drink. It was like green and purple. Shortly after that, I guess, I remember nothing. A group of people walked me to my room, and at the time we were staying, I had woke up, and my cell phone, it had pictures of these people basically having sex with my body while I wasn't awake. And I just remember feeling so hurt and confused, and it just I don't know what happened. One of them was, I considered a friend at the time. So I went to him and I showed him, and I was like, what is this? Why was this okay? Why did this happen? And basically he was like, what are you talking about? Like, that, don't be stupid. You wanted to drink with us. That's what you asked for. Like, don't turn this into something it's not. At the time, he got arrested. He got taken from work. I went straight to medical, and they did like a rape kit. They did like photographs and tests. They asked me what I was wearing. Was I drinking? Am I promiscuous in any way? Because apparently that matters. It's, the whole thing is a joke. The system, the people that deal with it. I deleted everything prior to like my life before that. I like deleted friends. That still really hurts because it's not something I'll get back. But it's like the trauma itself. I've had so much healing and like therapy that I can openly talk about that. But it's just crazy when I go to talk about like my actual self or like who I was. I can't.
I experienced chronic low-grade sexual harassment basically throughout my military career. There were also some specific incidents that really rose above that level to a point that I felt I couldn't stay silent. When I was still in a training environment, at one point, one of my classmates asked if I could bring over his homework. And when I went to his house, his wife was not home, and he asked if I would have sex with him. I said, absolutely not, and went to leave. And he stopped me and said, please, will you at least perform oral sex on me? That's not the term that he used, but that was clearly his intent. And I, again, said, absolutely not. You're married. This is not appropriate. He persisted in asking if I would engage in sexual acts with him until I was able to leave his house. One night, in the middle of the night, I went over for a change of guard, and the man who was there grabbed my hand, and I realized that he had his penis out of his pants and was trying to put my hand on his penis. I jerked back in total surprise and expressed that I was not interested. I didn't feel in danger. I was carrying an M4, but I was appalled that someone would behave so unprofessionally, so inappropriately. What bothers me even more was the reaction from my peers, that when I spoke to other soldiers and asked what I should do, should I report? The response that I got was, well, why are you going to ruin his career just because you can't take it? Later in my military career, when we were in Kuwait preparing to invade Iraq, a staff sergeant who at that point exceeded me by 2 ranks told me that he and his wife really enjoyed rough sex, but she wasn't around and he'd like to break the back axle of a Humvee on me. This was in front of other junior soldiers, men who were made so uncomfortable by this that they walked away, leaving me alone. The implicit message was that we were not real soldiers, that we were not equal. From 2016 to 2018, I was honored to serve within the Department of Veterans Affairs, running their Center for Women Veterans. I was also able to work towards ensuring that survivors of sexual harassment and assault were able to access high quality care and equitable access to benefits. There is a part of me that wonders if we will be able to see genuine change under the current administration when the commander-in-chief has been credibly accused of sexual assault and expresses no remorse for it. What message does that send to more junior folks?
I truly hope that with everyone that's come out, with myself and the hundreds of other women that have come out and shared their story, I hope that this creates a change.
I do have hope in the Vanessa Guillen bill. I think that by creating that, the military is being put on notice.
When the Vanessa Guillen disappearance and ultimately murder case hit the news cycle, I witnessed an outpouring of rage and grief from military women and women veterans, unlike any that I've seen before.
The murder of Specialist Vanessa Guillen has become a catalyst highlighting sexual harassment and sexual assault within the military. It takes a shot at the system and it rattles the system of the trust that you have to have in this profession.
I really have seen since this kicked off things that give me some hope for the future. This cannot stand. This is not acceptable. Not one more.
when I see things like what you call it, things like that can come out. I feel like that is what I in the United States. So when we go over to that, according to FamilyLives.org, any word or act of a sexual nature intended to pressure you to do something provocative, preventive, that means harsh intent, cruel treatment, or sexual is considered sexual bullying. According to the NSPCC, has defined sexual bullying as sexual behavior, whether physical or non-physical, that is based on a person's sexuality or gender. This means sexuality or gender is used as a weapon by boys or girls towards other boys or girls, or women and men used towards other men or women. Although it is more commonly directed at women. What is the difference between bullying and harassment? The main difference between bullying and harassment is that bullying is not punishable by law, whereas harassment is an offense under the law. Bullying can be a type of harassment, they won't be able to uh, prison for doing something they should not have done. We have to stress the importance of different things that occur in our society because society is not going to raise your child. You have to raise your child. Young harassment always creates harass of your comments, threats, gestures, or actions. They try to demean a person, make them shut you, hurt your feelings. Sometimes people harass of do it with sexual comments or acts. This is called sexual harassment or sexual so we can really start sexual comments or sexual gestures or sexual harassment. Sort of crosses the line. You have to be aware of what you're doing and make sure you don't cross that line because if you do, you can become so that's just bringing awareness. This is all I'm doing, bringing awareness. Sexual harassment and bullying include things like making sexual jokes, spreading sexual rumors, text messages, social media, in person, posting sexual comments or pictures or videos of other people, sending sexual pictures or videos on talking. This is what I'm about next. Asking someone for their photos of themselves is considered sexual harassment and bullying. So guys, before you do that, make sure that action is one. And you're just not out here asking women because you don't know how to build a partnership. But you're asking them to send you sexual pictures, open the mouth, open the internet, and women like it. That's something that you don't want men to see because it's a form of manipulation. Uh, and it's something that you don't want men to do. Sometimes when they see that the relationship has taken a turn from work, all relationships start out beautiful. But what happens when it spreads? Those pictures that they send it to one person, somebody send it to one person, yeah, but they're going to send it to somebody else. And next thing you know, your business is all over the internet, all over social media. So you keep from getting embarrassed and feeling hurt that this person hurt you. Just say no. Guard yourself. We as women or men, we have to guard ourselves as individuals. Because it's up to us to protect ourselves. Another thing is touching or grabbing someone in a but you need to speak about it. So if you're talking to your children, make sure that you tell them to go to the fight with them. A lot of schools have policies on sexual harassment, sexual bullying, harassment, bullying. Uh, they have policies. The jobs have policies. Tell somebody, tell supervisor, tell a manager, find somebody you can trust, have a conversation, counsel them. Someone didn't like about me, don't think it's your fault. Don't stay in silence because silence, uh, it hurts you down the road because you sit there feeling like you've done something wrong. But it happens in school, it happens on my job. Uh, you can be anything. I don't think it's a respected person. I don't think it's about your color or your gender. It can happen to one boy, person, that's good. It isn't normal. It happens to anybody. Boy, girl, man, woman, it doesn't matter. Nobody's exempt. It's just learning what you do authentically. Your way of how to protect yourself because it's not your fault. Being a target of instigation is most people get hope if it happens one time with the boom coming, but it's still not okay. This means they may have been stressed. It's pretty much what you have to say. In this case, a person who harassed may feel unsafe or they may avoid going to places where it happens, such as school. They don't want to go to school or they don't want to go to work. But somebody at work said sexual harassment or harassing you, period, they can feel safe and scared, angry, weary, depressed, can't sleep, lead to poor grades in school. Sexual harassment and sexual bullying can cause problems for the community. So you list the bullying, this is what you're out there doing to women, to men, if you're doing this to women, to put awareness to stop women from doing it because men don't only bully. You got some women that bully. You got women bully women. I mean, you got men bully men. I mean, it's everywhere. This is crazy. Our society is messed up. But sexual harassment and sexual bullying, it can cause problems for the bullying too. Because some behaviors are against the law. Sexual bullying may not be recognized on how these behaviors can affect their lives. But if you're moving into harassing somebody, you can be charged with that. You can be sued as well. So we have to be mindful of what we do out in society. It can also lead to forcing somebody to have sex, meaning sexual assault or rape. And that's going too far. That's a serious crime that can cause discipline of time, some prison time, some people can be liable. We have to be very anyone underage to pose for sexual features or to take part in sexual acts like using a webcam or a smartphone. This is called child sexual abuse. So we have got to learn these things to tell our children and make them understand, um, so they won't get caught up in the system where they put somebody else's child and they and a lot of conversations on hard things like as parents have to have these conversations with your children because you know they could be when it could have been avoided. Sit down with your boys, sit down with your girls, have these conversations so that they want to tell you when they see 14, 15, 16 kids driving up because of something that could have been avoided. And I've learned to sit down and have a conversation to say, this is what you don't do. So we've got to have these conversations with our children because if we don't get into adulthood, and then you got people out here raping it leads to the workforce. And that's what I saw when I seen the young lady in the military. She was trying to do a job for her husband. That was work. She was going to the military to be raped, harassed, or be victim despite her threats. But it happens. It happens. Nobody goes on their job for just forever. We all go to work and on a good day to work and leave, go home and have, and live peacefully. But sometimes it can be rough. So even on our jobs, even if we're not in the military, regardless of race, stuff happens in the military, it happens everywhere. Right? Have a conversation with your children. Protect your young and protect your black. So that means having these tough conversations, having tough conversations. A lot of people don't want to speak on it, but I'm speaking on it because it's gotta stop. And it starts. If you felt like you've been harassed by somebody, do what you can. Don't be alone with that person. Tell somebody you trust. Report it to the police. Just don't be alone with that person anymore. And make sure you report it and talk to somebody you can trust and let all else counseling. Good seek counseling. Don't feel like you have to deal with this situation by yourself because it's not your fault. And that's something you have to do. It's not your fault. And I don't want you to turn into suicide. So here are some things we can do to help the situation. Uh, Try to find somebody you can talk to you can trust. And if that person is not listening, find somebody else you can talk to you can trust. It's not your problem. Tell the person to stop. That's another thing. If somebody is giving you unwanted behaviors, just say stop. Look, I don't appreciate that. So stop doing that. That's not cool. And a lot of times the person will stop, but if they continue, then they're pushing it to a whole other direction of harassment. That they can go to jail depending on what it is. how it's in school, teach them to tell you as the parent, tell a relative, a coach, a teacher, friends, friend, somebody you're close to, the school, find somebody that you can trust and tell them, report it. Report it to the school, report it to your job if it's happening at work. It can happen anywhere, it can happen at school, it can happen at the workplace. Most jobs, most schools have sexual harassment policies in place. Most of them have bullying policies to protect and all else. If you feel like you are depressed, you're stressed out, you have anxiety, you can't sleep, talk with a therapist or counselor. Find somebody that can help you cope with what's happening. So now I want to get to the life stages because we have a lot of them. So stand by and some things that are going to open your mouth. And that's a big problem in our society. Say something, say something. Because you could have said something to prevent what happened to this person. And I know you said those not your business, but it could be your mom or your sister or your brother or your aunt or your cousin. Which one happened to you? So if you see somebody doing something wrong, you are a bystander, say something. Well, all else was what somebody, a husband or daughter, what happened, and you see this happen. So want to tell a teacher, tell a principal, tell somebody you can trust and give you support. That is key to protect. Okay? And so all this is coming from Dr. Alistair between 2021. So a lot of this I got from her when we were doing this work. And I also found some information from sexual harassment, sexual bullying from John Hawkins. Hopkins has a website, Children's Hospital in Tennessee. Talk about a lot of different topics. So you get a website there so you can get information about things in place. Anyway, so you can get clarification. But bullying behaviors about how different ways comments, suggestions, advance or threat another person. It's called sexual harassment, sexual bullying. Nobody needs to be hurt. Nobody wants unwanted behaviors or feel intimidated. Or feel like they're forced to do something that they don't want to do. Sexual harassment, the focus is on things like a person's appearance, body parts, sexual orientation, or sexual identity. We all know not always healthy. You know, really is someone like sitting in a public spaces, sometimes sexual harassment can be visible with jobs, it doesn't just happen to girls, like I said, it happens to boys as well. Girls who have harassed boys, women harass men, harass women, harass women, harass men. It's all over the place. Doesn't matter the age. Most of the time, sexual harassment happens to teenagers. So we have to have these conversations with teenagers to understood. Adults can normally push it away, but sometimes even adults can call it a sexual assault. But it's another form of reporting versus the way to stop. Another thing that could be considered sexual harassment or bullying is showing someone inappropriate sexual writing sexual messages about people on bathroom stalls in the bathroom, public places, spreading sexual rumors by text message in person or online without the right. last thing that I'm going to bring up, simply sexual relations or humans, right? Sex or sex is not a bad sex occurs with the person that you or in relationship with that person. In some cases, it is considered harassment and can bring very serious consequences. Also, messages or images communicated within the mind can lead to the wrong behaviors that can include errors in communication. If you send someone images just to one another, boyfriend, girlfriend, or somebody that you can forward to somebody else, the next thing you know, it's on the way to a little girl you see forcing another person into doing things they don't want to do, such as kissing or sex intercourse, goes beyond sexual harassment or forcing someone to do sexual things is sexual assault or very serious crime. Hurting and harassing. Sometimes people who make sexual jokes or comments, um, they land in people's brains. They might be flirting, but this is something we gotta learn what's the difference between flirting and sexual harassment. So you got a crush on somebody, you're dating, flirting with them, or you're flirting with them, you both start making jokes about sex, and your crush asks if you'd like to do that. You say no way, which with normal flirting, yes. So basically, what this is saying is that if we're flirting with this joking around with each other, he asks me if I want to do something that I know that I don't do, and I say no, I don't want to do that. This should end the conversation. But if you start pressuring me into saying sexual uh, it could very, very harassing. We have really got to be mindful of that because these days and you have to explain it